Hi, everyone. This is Mrs. Pearson, your elementary ELL teacher. Today, you're going to go over the vocabulary and sight word pictures for first grade Journeys, Lesson 23. And our anchor story or anchor text is Whistle for Willie by Ezra Jack Keats. So, for this lesson, you're going to turn and talk. That means I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to think about your answer, then you're going to pair up with a partner, or you can be my virtual partner. And then you're going to share out your thinking in a complete sentence or sentences. So for this lesson, you will need a pencil and a piece of paper or journal page. And then you're going to write your numbers 1 to 8. And for each number, you're going to write a vocabulary or sight word. And then at the end of the lesson, I'm going to challenge you to write your words up to 2 more times. 1, and then in the third column, you can write the word another time, or you can draw a quick picture or sketch for each vocabulary or sight word. So let's go over our learning targets. I can use pictures and context clues to help me understand important words from the story Whistle for Willie. Our next learning target is I can talk about the important words and pictures from the story. Success criteria. That means how will you know you're successful at using pictures and context clues to help you understand the important words from the story Whistle for Willie? And how will you know you're successful at talking about those important words from the story? Well, here are your steps to success. I will, number 1, look closely at each pair of pictures. Number 2, I will say what I notice or see. How are the pictures the same or similar? This is the turn and talk routine. And then I will read each word and its definition. Number 4, I will write each word 2 or more times and or draw a picture for each. Let's go over our turn and talk rules. Number 1, eye to eye and knee to knee. Make sure you're spacing your your partner if you have a partner at home. Number 2, first one person talks, the other person listens. 3, then the next person talks, the other person listens. But don't talk too long on your turn, or your partner will not have time to have a turn. I'm going to ask the same 2 questions about each pair of pictures. What do you notice or see? And you're going to answer your thinking in the question in a complete sentence. I notice or I see. And then I'm going to ask, how are they both the same or similar? And you're going to say they both and tell me what you notice, how they are the same or similar. They both. Then you can either agree and say, I agree with you, Mrs. Pearson, because, and tell me why. Or you can disagree with myself or your partner and say, I disagree with you because, and tell me why, or your partner. First group of pictures, what do you notice or see? I notice or I see. Well, in the first picture, I notice a house with a door and a window and a fence, and there's even some smoke coming out of the chimney. In the next picture, I notice a house or a home as well with two windows on the first floor and two windows on the top. And how are these pictures the same or similar? They both, well, they both show a house. House. So for number 1, you need to write house, 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 house. What is a house? A house is a place to live or it's a home. A house is a place to live or home. So a synonym for house is home. Instead of saying house, you could say home. They learned how to build a house for birds. They learned how to build a house for birds. You could also say they learned how to build a home for birds. They learned how to build a home for birds. So, how do I use it? Laurel's house is near the lake. What do you like most about your house and why? You could also say Laurel's home is near the lake. What do you like most about your home and why? So make sure you have house, House. A house is a place to live or home. Next group of pictures, what do you notice or see? I notice or I see. Well, in the first picture, I notice someone is walking along a path. In the next picture, I notice a person is walking home or maybe to school or to work. So, how are these pictures the same or similar? They both? Well, they both show along. One person is walking along a path, and another person is walking along a sidewalk. Along. So make sure you write along, Along, along. Along means to follow on or in a line with. Along means to follow on, like walking on a path, or to follow in a line. So walking in a line, along, along. So a synonym for along could be on. Walking on a path, walking along a path, along. He rode carefully along the bike path. He rode carefully along the bike path. You could also say he rode carefully on the bike path. How do I use it? We went for a run along the beach. What kind of shoes do you need for a walk along a snowy path? You could also say, we went for a run on the beach. What kind of shoes do you need for a walk on a snowy path? So make sure you have along, Along. Along means to follow on or in a line with. Next group of pictures, what do you notice or see? I notice or I see. On the first picture, I notice two people are putting together a puzzle. Two puzzle pieces are going together. In the next picture, I notice a group of people together holding hands or in a circle. So, how are these pictures the same or similar? They both? Well, they both show together. 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 So make sure for number three you write together. Together means with each other or jointly. Together means with each other or jointly. So a synonym or word that means the same is jointly. The baby can clap her hands together now. The baby can clap her hands together now. You could also say the baby can clap her hands jointly, or she can join her hands together. Jointly has the root word join. So when you join, it means you put them together. The baby can clap her hands together now, or the baby can clap her hands jointly now. So, how do I use it? Let's eat together. What are some things that are more fun to do together than alone? So let's eat jointly or let's join together. What are some things that are more fun to do jointly than alone? So, together, Together. Together. Together means with each other or jointly. To join. Join means to come together. Next group of pictures. What do you notice or see? I notice or I see. Well, in the first picture, I notice a boy. He's wearing a red shirt and red shoes and jeans. In the next picture, it also looks like a boy who's wearing shorts and a shirt and a hat. So how are these pictures the same or similar? They both, well, they both show a boy. B-O-Y. Boy. B-O-Y. Boy. A boy is a young male child. A boy is a young male child. Boy, B-O-Y. So a synonym for boy is male child. The boy teaches his sister to read. The boy teaches his sister to read. You could also say the male child teaches his sister to read. How do I use it? My brother is a boy. Was your father once a boy? You could also say, my brother is a male or male child. Was your father once a male child? So once again, boy, B-O-Y. A boy is a young male child. Next group of pictures. What do you notice or see? I notice or I see. Well, in the first picture, I notice it looks like a dad with his daughter on his shoulders. In the next picture, I notice also a father reading with his son or relative. So, how are these pictures the same or similar? They both, well, they both show father. 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 A father is a male parent. A father is a male parent. Father. You could also say, and I might change this, father is a dad. So a synonym could be male parent or just dad, male parent or dad. My father teaches me how to swim. My father teaches me how to swim. You could also say, my parent teaches me how to swim, or my dad teaches me how to swim. So, what I'm going to do, I am going to change that to dad, because usually we say dad as a substitute for father. Okay, and then I'm going to save that. All right, then I'm going to go back. All right, so how do I use it? My father is a policeman. Where do you go with your father or mother? My father is a policeman. Where do you go with your father or mother? You could also say, my dad is a policeman. Where do you like to go with your dad or mother or mom? Next group of pictures. What do you notice or see? I notice or I see. Well, in the first picture, I notice a boy writing something on his desk, but there's a lot of crumpled up pieces of paper. So it looks like he might have written a lot of things, but then redid them. In the next picture, I notice arrows that keep going around and around, repeating. So, how are these pictures the same or similar? Are they both? Well, they both show again. Again, 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 again. Again means once more. Again means once more. So a synonym could be once more. We went out on the ice again to practice. We went out on the ice again to practice. So make sure you write again, Again. How do I use it? Please give me your phone number again. How is doing something again different from doing something new? So I'm going to read the picture with the sentence with the picture. We went out on the ice once more to practice. And then please give me your phone number once more. How is doing something once more different than doing something new? So once more is the same as again, Again, again. Next group of pictures, what do you notice or see? I notice or I see. Well, in the first picture, I notice a man is looking into an empty refrigerator. There is nothing in it. And in the next picture, I notice a person is looking in a mailbox, and there it looks again like that's empty or has nothing in it. So, how are these pictures the same or similar? They both, well, they both show nothing, nothing, not a thing, nothing. Nothing. Literally, no thing is in the refrigerator or in the mailbox. Nothing. Nothing means not anything or zero. Nothing means not anything or zero. So a synonym could be zero or not anything. At first, nothing fit, but he finished the puzzle. At first, nothing fit, but he finished the puzzle. So you could say, at first, not anything fit, or zero things fit, but then he finished the puzzle. Think, or how do I use it? There is nothing in my pocket, or there is zero things in my pocket. There is not anything in my pocket. Is a day with nothing to do boring or fun, and why? Is a day with zero things to do or not anything to do boring or fun? Why? So make sure you have nothing, Nothing, no thing, nothing. Last picture. What do you notice or see? I notice or I see. Well, in the first picture, I notice it looks like someone is starting a journey down a long path. Looks like they're going to go hiking. In the next picture, it looks like someone is going somewhere or going forward, and they look pretty happy. So, how are these pictures the same or similar? They both Well, they both show began. Began. B-E-G-A-N. Began. B-E-G-A-N. Began. Began means to get started. Began means to get started, just like the hiker is beginning his or her journey. They just began. And so is the other person who is running forward in a direction. He or she just began. So a synonym could be get started. She began to take violin lessons. She began to take violin lessons. You could also say she started to take violin lessons. How do I use it? The boys and girls began to clap. You could also say the boys and girls started to clap. What is something you began but did not finish? What is something you began but didn't finish? You could also say, what is something you started but didn't finish? So let's check your work. Number 1 was house, House, house. A house is a place to live or home. Number 2, along. Along means to follow on or in a line with, along. Number 3, together. Together means with each other or jointly, together. Number 4 is boy. A boy is a young male child. Boy. So this is a good time if you need to push pause and check your work for number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Make sure you have those words spelled correctly, and if you want to, you can write them a second time and draw a quick picture or sketch. And when you're done, push play. So first push pause, do your work, and then push play. All right, number 5 is father. So a father is a male parent or dad. Number 6, again. Again means once more, again. Number 7, nothing. Not a thing or no thing, nothing. Nothing means not anything or zero. And number 8 is began. Began means to get started. So again, this is a great time to check your work for 5, 6, 7, and 8. Make sure you've written all the words correctly. Then you can push pause. You can write the words a second time and then draw a quick picture or sketch. And then when you're done, push play. At the top of your paper, I want you to reflect on your learning. I can use pictures and context clues to help me understand important words from the story, Whistle for Willie. So, would you give yourself a 4? I could teach this lesson. I easily said how each pair of pictures were the same. Or would you give yourself a 3? I was able to say how most of the picture pairs were the same. Or would you give yourself a 2? I was able to say how some of the picture pairs were the same. Or would you give yourself a 1? I was not able to say how any of the picture pairs were the same. So once again, reflect on your learning. Would you give yourself a 4, 3, 2, or 1? And thank you for going over the vocabulary words and sight words for lesson 23, Whistle for Willie. Have a great day.